In this video, I want to talk about cooperative driving and letting someone else come into your lane if there's congestion or there is an obstruction that is not anticipated. So for example, with construction zones, the lane in front of us is coming to an end. We can see these flashing arrow up ahead. And so people are starting to change their lanes over. We're trying to do the same thing here. So we've got our indicator on, and it should be a zipper merge at this point. But what happens, especially on this stretch of the road, is people have just come off the highway. It's now turned into city driving. It's been the city driving for about 500, 600 meters, but people haven't really adjusted to like, hey, we need to go back. We've been velocitized from being on the highway. So we need to start slowing down and start driving for city conditions again. And so you can see like this van just let one person in and they're following so close to the car in front of them, like there's no way someone else can do a lane change there. And so this person is kind of trying to make this lane change because of the obstruction. And so my student is coming in here and is thinking, well, I should just go. And I was like, hey, let's take a bit of a pause here and let this person come into as well, right? And so that's what ended up happening. So for as much as we can, we try to be a cooperative driver on the road. Now, as I mentioned in so many of my videos, there is two sides of the spectrum. There's something that is, being too cautious or too compensating, and then the other side of the spectrum where you're being reckless and causing more confusion to other road users. So if it's safe, right, if by slowing down to let this person in, I'm not going to surprise the car that's approaching in this lane, then I should try to let this person in, right? And the way this should be done is ideally we would not be this close to this vehicle before we stop to let them in. We should be trying to accommodate for them wanting to coming into this lane by easing off the gas pedal and covering the brakes sooner, having a nice buffer in front of us so they can feel comfortable doing this lane change in front of us. But because this person was stuck here for quite some time, right? You can see that person did a lane change, and then this person, I guess, couldn't do a lane change because this person not paying attention, not adjusting their following distance to allow for this zipper merge to happen, right? So when there's congestion like this, we should be alternating merging. So you can kind of see how that person, that pickup truck got stuck there. And so we're all driving here. And it's everyone's poor driving habits that lead to these type of situations. So if everybody's following so close to one another, they don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden the car in front of them does a lane change and then they're like, oh, we need to go into this lane? Well, if I had kept more buffer in front of me, it would have been easier to figure out what's going on up ahead. Maybe I could have signaled sooner. And then same idea with these people, right? They're all so close to one another that now it's hard for them to do a zipper merge even if they really wanted to. So you can see this person merge between these two, and then this car that's in front or in the back of this car should be kind of merging into this space here. But because of the fact that this person is not really creating that space, they might have felt uneasy or unsafe doing that lane change, and so they rather just stop. And then same idea here, like this truck should have allowed for this vehicle to merge. And so you can see people get off the highway and then they don't, it's all about me. Like, where do I want to go? How fast can I get there? But we're sharing the road. Yes, this arrow pertains to our lane, but you people in this lane can also see this arrow. So you should be thinking, hey, this lane on the right is coming to an end because of construction. Where are these people gonna go? maybe as a driver, I will build up my following distance so that someone can easily take up a bit of that space to do that lane change. But long story short, you can see like this van coming so quick, especially when there's so much congestion and this person's doing a lane change. That speed doesn't seem appropriate for what is happening here, right? You need to, like, the bumpers shouldn't be that close to one another when someone is doing a lane change. And then, you know, they're just itching to get their foot off that brake again. So long story short, don't be those drivers. Leave lots of room. And this is what I always say in the videos, leave lots of room so that someone can feel safe doing a lane change in front of you. And in fact, that's what it says in the Motor Vehicle Act, right? You should always be maintaining a distance in front of your car that another vehicle can safely do a lane change in front of you. So the takeaway from this video is look ahead so you can see if there's an obstruction in your lane and deal with that obstruction earlier on. So if I were this driver, I would be thinking, okay, how did I end up in this situation? The reason I ended up in this situation was I was following too close to the car in front of me, so I couldn't really see what was happening. I couldn't see this arrow up ahead, or I was phased out and I wasn't really thinking about the fact that, oh, if there's an arrow there, then maybe I need to do a lane change. And I ended up getting to a position where I was now relying on other people, other absent-minded drivers, to try to accommodate my lane change. So look ahead, plan ahead, and everything will work out. I'll see you in the next video.